How do you compute for inflation rate using the basket cost and consumer price index? To compute for the inflation rate, first we have to determine the base year. The base year is the year against which all other years will be compared. Then, we calculate the basket cost. The basket cost is the total cost of a fixed set of goods and services that are representative of the average consumer's spending habits. This can be calculated by multiplying the price of each item in the basket by the quantity of that item purchased, and then summing up the total cost. After we have calculated the basket cost, we calculate the CPI. The CPI is a measure of the average change in prices of goods and services over time. It is calculated by dividing the basket cost in the current year by the basket cost in the base year, and then multiplying the result by 100. The formula for CPI is CPI is equals to basket cost in the current year divided by basket cost in the base year. Then we multiply that by 100. After calculating the CPI, we then calculate the inflation rate. The inflation rate is the percentage change in the CPI from one year to the next. It can be calculated using the following formula. The inflation rate is equals to the CPI in the current year minus the CPI in the previous year divided by the CPI in the previous year multiplied to 100. And that's how you get the inflation rate. So to summarize, the steps to compute for inflation rate using the basket cost and CPI are: first, we have to determine the base year, then calculate the basket cost, and then calculate the CPI using the formula CPI is equals to basket cost of the current year divided by basket cost of the base year multiplied to 100. After calculating the CPI, we calculate the inflation rate using the formula inflation rate is equals to CPI of the current year minus CPI of the previous year or the base year divided by CPI in the base year multiplied to 100. The second question: how do we use tax in addressing recession and inflation? Taxes can be used as a tool to address both recession and inflation. For recession, the government may use tax cuts to stimulate economic activity. By reducing taxes, individuals and businesses have more disposable income, by which they can use to spend or invest. This increased spending and investment can help boost economic growth and create jobs. Additionally, the government may offer tax incentives to businesses to encourage them to invest in new projects or hire more. For inflation, the government may use tax increases to reduce aggregate demand. By increasing taxes, individuals and businesses have less disposable income, by which can lead to decreased spending and investment. This can help reduce demand for goods and services, which can help reduce inflationary pressures. Additionally, the government may use taxes to target specific sectors of the economy that are contributing to inflation, such as luxury goods or imports. And it's also important to note that the effectiveness of tax policies in addressing recession and inflation depends on a variety of factors, including the severity of the economic situation, the specific tax policies implemented, and the overall economic environment. For the third question, how does the BSP or the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas use the reserve requirement rates to address recession and inflation? During a recession, the BSP may lower reserve requirement rates to encourage banks to lend more money to businesses and individuals. By lowering reserve requirements, banks have more funds available to lend, which can help stimulate economic activity and boost growth. This increased lending can help businesses access the capital they need to invest in new projects or hire more workers, which can help create jobs and boost economic activities. And to address inflation, the BSP may increase reserve requirement rates to reduce the amount of money in circulation. By increasing reserve requirements rates, banks are required to hold more funds in reserve, which reduces the amount of money available for lending and spending. This can help reduce demand for goods and services, which can help reduce inflationary pressures. Additionally, reserve requirements are just one tool that can be used to address these issues, and other policies such as monetary policy and the fiscal policy may also be used in conjunction with reserve requirements.